Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, and let's get this show on the Monday night viewing process.
You were going to say the road again. You were going to do it again. Just love saying that. You just do. You love saying it.
It's a special day, St. Patty's Day show.
It is. Oh,
live from the pub.
I forgot to get a glass of Jameson for this, actually. I was going to do it.
Go with the Guinness.
There you go. Still celebrating.
Or a milkshake, either or.
Listen, as two Irish lads here, it's okay. We're allowed to do these things. It's funny how I like to mess around people all the time. Like culture appropriation, take off the green.
Yeah. I feel like it's a religious holiday, so
there you go. I see that. It's very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
And it's funny because even as an Irish person, I know there is a St. Patrick, but I could not tell you the history of St. Patrick's Day at all.
It's very well. Sit down for a lesson, lads.
You are much more Irish than I am, so let's go for it. Go for it.
I'm also studying history. He was a nice, good old lad who was actually, I think he was originally English, who went to the Vatican, became a saint, and he came back to Ireland because I think originally he was an Irish. There's a lot of different stories, but he pretty much was Ireland, went to England, became a saint, went to
and
Italy,
beat up some snakes.
Became Peter the Piper,
and
brought Catholicism and united the Irish Islands.
Kind of like Barry White did in The Simpsons when he lured all the snakes in with his soothing sounds.
Yeah, and united Springfields.
Yeah, exactly.
Out of tribalism.
Anyway, enough of the history lesson here.
Went off on a history hyenas rant.
That's what happens. Listen, you put a couple Irish people up there. The nice thing is I just love the fact that I'm such a mutt. I can just claim any holiday. I'm like, this one's fine.
I'm a golden American mutt.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I know your lineage being that I married into your family, so therefore I know damn well you have a ton of Irish in you. I know. I'm saying though that half is basically 100% Irish. Therefore,
oh no.
Not to mention you have one of the most Irish last names possible.
It was really funny when I was working at an Italian restaurant. Everyone thought I was Italian, full-blood Italian, which is not true. If anything, more Black Irish. But when I told the gentleman I was working in a repast for an Irish funeral, and it was an Italian restaurant, and everyone there was like, "Oh my god, these people go drink," and they're sitting there they're all happy. I'm like, it's a celebration of life. One, and two, it's just this. The grieving process. You just tell funny stories. But then the Irish guy comes up and goes, "You look like a good old Italian lad." I'm like, "Well, actually, my last name is, Donnelly over here." And he goes, "Oh, they make the finest sausages in all the lands." Now, that's what I'm trying to tell all the American women for the past 26 years. And he goes, "You're fucking funny." There's our F-bomb for the
That was a better story than the Otis Anderson story. From now on, this will be a St. Patrick's Day tradition. You tell the story.
But about my Irish sausage.
Anyway, let's get off of Rob's sausage here. We'll start discussing Giants news here. So, one of the big news that broke here over the weekend is, will Aaron Rodgers retire? After all the BS we've been through the last week, would Aaron Rodgers just turn around and retire?
Every now and then.
What the hell? So
it doesn't surprise me.
Now,
it was actually talked about that 3 weeks ago, but sorry.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he started contacting all these teams. It's like, why are you contacting these teams if you are thinking about retiring? That doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm going to say this as a Giants fan myself, point blank. When you contacted the Giants, that's a move of desperation. That's saying, I want to play.
Yeah.
That's just what it boils down to. So this is from Diana Russini of The Athletic. She said, Rodgers has been targeted by the Steelers and Giants, but has essentially put both teams on hold while he waits for clarity regarding the Vikings situation. If Minnesota ceases to be an option, it's also possible that Rodgers will turn down the Steelers, a 2024 playoff team, and Giants, and instead opt out for retirement. The bottom line, there are a lot of people waiting on Rodgers' decision, and Rodgers, at least for now, is waiting on O'Connell. This screams to be one of those moments where the Giants need to show a little bit of pride. Listen, Russell Wilson's already been in. Joe Flacco's already been in. We're going to talk about it a little bit. Jameis Winston's coming in for a visit as well. At a certain point, guys, I get the Giants saying, I'll give you a day or two to figure out your options. It's been a goddamn week.
Yeah. It's a world in the offseason in the NFL.
I mean, technically it's been, a little less than a week since he's been officially cut, but he's been talking to people since the goddamn combine. Do you think that we're the only ones he talked to at the NFL combine? I find that very hard to believe. So at a certain point, and I get it, like Shane and Dable are trying to keep their jobs. They think that he's going to help them, keep their jobs. But at a certain point, guys, show a little goddamn pride in yourselves. Stop showing humility. Shows pride. Because if Aaron Rodgers is literally saying to people, I want to go to the Vikings or I just may retire because I really don't want to play for the Giants, then say, F off. We don't want you either.
Yeah. Yeah, cut the cord. You already gave me your answer by saying that you're going to retire if you're not a Viking. That's your answer.
I don't want somebody that flat out doesn't want to be here. That's not part of building a winning culture. By literally saying by holding people hostage to a certain degree and saying, well, come here because at least you won't have to retire.
Yeah.
Like, if that's where we're at, Russell Wilson wants to be here. Jameis Winston wants to be here. Joe Flacco wants to be anywhere. He's just happy at 40 that somebody still wants him. But this is where we're at here. Instead, this franchise has been held hostage by this guy. And, I'm trying to have the more realistic approach. I think it was Art Stapleton who tweeted out this morning saying, why not give Aaron Rodgers his time unless Russell Wilson comes to you and says there's a deadline? Well, I'm sorry, but at a certain point, you got to say, we got to figure out our own damn situation.
Yeah.
We're giving you the time, but we got to figure out our own damn situation. And Russell Wilson is not just talking to the Giants, guys. We know he's talking to the Browns. I know there's been some talk with the Titans, though I heard that did not go far, and the Titans are probably just going to go ahead and get Cam Ward. Spoiler alert there. But, you still have the chance to risk losing these guys. And to me, you should be signing multiple quarterbacks at this point. Multiple quarterbacks. Like, I want Russell Wilson and I want Jameis Winston. And I want to put both on the roster. And I want to go, I wouldn't say fantastic. Let's be realistic here.
Well, no, I'm just saying that you actually give yourself multiple options compared to the past couple of years where you're like, DJ, you're the guy. And you know what? Your only challenge in the past 6 years is going to be Drew Lock.
But it's also because if you do that, you can now guarantee that whatever rookie you get, whether it's Sanders at 3 or you get somebody else in the mid rounds, that you can let them sit. You don't have to rush them out. Even during case of an injury, you don't have to rush them out. And I think you got a good scenario by doing it that way. As good as you can possibly get this offseason.
And that's why I said fantastic.
Yeah. Fantastic for what's available.
Correct.
Not so fantastic overall.
Well, you're talking about quarterback play. That's one thing. You're talking about giving yourself options. It's a fantastic thing to do instead of just saying, we're going to bring one guy and just hope for the best.
But like I said, to me, it's guys, it's like I said, we know it's been a week since free agency started. It's been weeks that Rodgers has been trying to figure out what he's doing. And at a certain point, you got to sit there and tell him, well, you got 6 hours. You got 3 hours, whatever time you want to give. You need to come out with a number that you want to play for, or just, call us up and say, I still can't decide. And we're going to move on to the direction.
Yeah. I mean, you don't even have to be aggressive saying 6 hours, but like, listen.
Well, I would still say that way. If you want to give him a timeline, go ahead and give him a timeline.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Aaron,
like, you can't sit there and say, listen, you make a decision now. Like, that doesn't happen.
No, but hey, We gave you days. Now you've been wavered for 5.5 days. Guess what? Come tomorrow noon, you don't have a decision, then we don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to give him a deadline. Deadline's got to be there. And I would start negotiating point blank right now with both Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. In fact, I wouldn't even let Jameis Winston, when he comes in for the visit tomorrow, spoiler alerts, we're talking about that in a little bit, I wouldn't let him leave the building regardless of Rodgers.
100% no.
That's just me. And it's not to say he's this great, amazing player. It's just because of the fact that he's going to be cheap. He's going to be somebody who can start, and we've got injury issues always with our team. So, but like I said, Rodgers, point blank, time to poop or get off the pot, to put it nicely.
And Winston also comes at a cheap cost, and he also knows that he's, I mean, granted, even if he's the first signed, you can have the conversation, and he knows that he's going to be the backup.
Yeah. No,
so
and you say that to him point blank, and he's not going to get upset.
Yeah.
Whereas Adoree
Jackson to Rodgers
will get upset. Adoree Jackson, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Good thing I said Rodgers first, huh?
Womp. It's how tired I am of him. I'm so tired of making mistakes. Womp. Let's see. John says, yeah, he'll unretire, then he'll retire, then unretire like Favre. Mac, the Giants fan, Aaron Rodgers, the diva. John Anderson says he can't retire going out sucking. I don't think he really, like, if you look at last year, he wasn't necessarily on the field, at least the problem. Well, off the field, yeah, but not on the field. John says it's sad men being divas. Your men act like it. Was that directed at us? Because you pluralized that, John. I'm not sure if that was us. Wait, hold on a second here. Bad Guy says we have to explore each option. Exactly. G says, I don't think Bill Parcells would have stand for this. He says, John says, Bill Parcells would have told these guys off on live TV. And John says, how about Sam Ellinger? He's a free agent body we could develop. He was great in college for Texas, still young. I'm good with there. I'm not interested in that one. Deb said, heard a good line today. Teams are playing chess and Giants are playing checkers. Sounds about right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like we're playing tic-tac-toe and losing personally, but that's just me. All right, let's get into more positive stuff here with the Giants. We have a new Giant. A new Giant.
Ooh,
it's got a shiny new Giant smell. And that's Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles there. 28 years old, 6'2", 223 pounds. Played last year with the Niners. Actually played his whole career with the Niners. But last year with the Niners, 12 games, 2 starts, 17 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, interception, and 2 passes deflected. Now, this guy is a special teamer, guys. I know you guys love talking about special teams. It gets all the listeners and watchers so excited. I know.
It's so special.
20% of his the defensive snaps he was on for, but 59% of the special team snaps. And that's definitely where he's much more known as a player for. Think about it like a Matthew Adams kind of guy, a Cutter Coughlin kind of guy, like the guys we've had last couple of years that just it's what they are. They're special teamers. They're special team specialists. Very special. So
special.
In his career, 73 games overall, 7 starts, 5 seasons with the 49ers. Now, what I like about this, and this is not to overplay this again, this is a guy that's a special team guy is going to play a little bit of snaps on defense, and that's it. But what I like about it is you have a guy that's known for being good in special teams, so at least he can play the role well that he does play. And 2, I like that he comes from a winning team. I know the Niners didn't exactly have the best year last year, but when you're a team trying to build culture, I like taking from teams that had culture, have culture. And again, last year aside, which basically, let's be honest, was all the injuries they had, that team has had culture the last 5-6 years. He has been a part of that. You know, he has literally been to Super Bowls with the 49ers. So
NFC championships.
Yeah, like this is a guy that's come from winning culture. Maybe he can help bring some of that along while being a solid, like I said, special teamer and a backup linebacker. You know, so I like to see him, you know, hopefully bring some of what's going on in San Francisco to MetLife Stadium. Hopefully he has one of those, like a tray of those like rice-a-roni bowls that they sell. You put in the microwave a little bit or something. It is the San Francisco treat after all.
Let's say.
It is. So, but welcome, Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, to the New York Giants there. All right. Let's talk about what we hope will be coming to the Giants here soon. Jameis Winston is the big one here, coming in for a visit. And last I heard, Joe Shane is personally going to vacuum the floor and sweep the entryway before he comes out, just to make sure the place looks nice. That's the rumor I heard. Breaking news, guys. I have my
after you said when it's peanut butter jelly sandwich.
Of course, that's goes without saying.
Can't get the crumbs on the floor.
This is from the NFL's Tom Pelissero. He says free agent quarterback Jameis Winston is scheduled to visit the Giants on Tuesday, per sources. While the New York Brain Trust waits for Aaron Rodgers' decision, it's continuing to visit with alternatives: Joe Flacco, Russell Wilson, and now Winston, the former number 1 overall pick. I don't know why he felt the need to throw in he's a former number 1 overall pick. We all know that.
Yeah.
Ooh, was he?
Wait a minute.
I've never watched football before. I'm unaware of this. What does he think of crab legs, though?
What does Reverend Winston have to say?
Now, during the Super Bowl, of course, first off, he became a national media treasure, basically, the way he was covering that game. That was absolutely amazing and so much fun. But he was asked about if he would play for the Giants. He said, would I really sign with the Giants? Absolutely. I want to keep playing and do what I do best. That's what he told to NJ Advance Media. So we already know he would come play here. He's visiting here. So last year with the Browns, 12 games, 7 starts, 61.1 completion percentage, 2,121 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Now, I feel like we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, and that is the interceptions.
Yeah,
it's the interceptions, guys.
Is that the elephant in the room with them? Is it really?
Yeah, that's definitely the elephant there. I feel like there's people that are going to sit there and say, oh, I don't want him. He throws all those interceptions. And don't get me wrong, guys. I don't want a guy that throws that many interceptions to be the guy that we throw in there at the start of the season as your starter like that, or even the end of the season. But it's a lot better option we had, guys. And I think that needs to be stated. So are you guys aware how many touchdowns we had all season long? Passing touchdowns. How many would you think, Rob?
It's like 16.
15. He had 13 in 7 starts.
Yeah. So literally you would double that and then some is what you're going to get production-wise.
Well,
out of a really bad offensive line.
But here's the problem that goes along with that. 13 interceptions we had. He had 12 interceptions in the 7 starts.
Yeah.
So you got to take the good with the bad.
You do. But also, if you want to continue to say, our head coach is an offensive mind guru.
Yep.
Who helped Daniel Jones reduce his turnovers.
You want to hear something really scary, though, stat-wise? So 61.1 was his completion percentage last season. If you include interceptions as completions, it jumps to 65%. Technically, they're completions to the other team, but they're still completed.
Yeah. Some of them were bad. Some of them were really bad. Some of them were like,
yeah.
I don't blame him for that one.
And I think the Giants really need to look at what they did with him in New Orleans, because he played 3 years in New Orleans. He had 20 touchdowns and 11 interceptions in his time there. So that's a much better touchdown to interception ratio than he has had for his career, both with Tampa Bay and that 1 year in Cleveland. So I think that's where we really got to look at and go, okay, hold on. What did New Orleans do that Tampa and Cleveland didn't do? And that's a deep dive that the Giants are going to have to do to figure out that, because I really think this is a guy that, if you can cut down those interceptions, is a decent upgrade over anybody we had last year. Now, again,
the whole team.
Is he the guy you want starting in the perfect world? No, of course not. But is he a whole lot better than what we've had? Yes.
Can he challenge any starter that you bring into this room right now? Yes.
Can he prevent you from having to be forced to throw the rookie, whoever we get, out there? Yes.
100%.
And does he stop you from getting anybody like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson? No. So therefore, as Adonis the dog here in the background also agrees,
hold on a second.
we should go ahead and just put him out there because he's a better option and he's going to be cheap, and it doesn't stop you from getting anybody else. I don't see what could be a downfall of getting Jameis Winston. I really don't. So if anybody thinks that, go ahead and let me know. I'm curious. But in the meantime, like I said, he's coming into town tomorrow. I'm hoping he does not leave with that deal personally. But we'll see what the Giants do. So, all right, let's go to another visit. The Giants are just rolling out the red carpet left and right here. Zach Pasquale's coming in, and some of y'all may remember him from his days as an Eagle. He's 30 years old now, 6'2", 215 pounds. Last year had 278 special team snaps, but just 68 in offense. So he's definitely much more of a special team than anything else. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Arizona Cardinals. He had not a single catch last year, and just 19 catches in the last 3 combined, 15 of which came in 22. Think about that. 22 was the last time he had more than, I think, let's see. Let's do the math here. So that is more than 5 catches. That's not good.
No.
Now, is he really good on special teams? Yeah. Had just 1 tackle last season, though. But overall, I mean, 12 tackles the 2 prior. And you might go, okay, well, what else can he do? Can he return kicks? Well, he hasn't returned kicks in 2021. This one's a little puzzling for me. Like, do we really need to bring this guy in for a visit? Is there not better options out there? And like I said, guy's had a decent career. He used to be a 600-yard season kind of player at that point for a couple of years even. So I'm saying, like, I don't mean to be disrespectful to what he's done this league, but he's just not that good anymore. We're not getting the same guy that was in with the Colts, because that's when he had his best seasons. 607 yards in 19, 629 in 20, 384 in 21. He's got 169 yards in the last 3 seasons combined, guys. And 150 of those was that 22 season. Yeah, I'm good. To me, I don't really see the point. I'm tired of bringing guys in for special teams that don't play offense or defense. Like, we can get guys that are just as good at special teams, but also play
as a backup role.
Yeah. Now, if you want to say you have a kicker or a punter or a snapper or a kick returner that doesn't do that, I'll understand. I'll get that. But to me, a guy that you're going to put on the roster, take up a roster spot to get maybe 4 or 5 tackles a season, and I get it. Maybe one of them is this tackle that saves you from a touchdown or on a return or something. I get that part of it there. I'll never subscribe to that theory. I will never subscribe to that theory. So, yeah. So, hope your visit goes well. Hope to give you Jameis Winston gets the contract. You, sir, get the pork roll, egg, and cheese. All righty. Let's go ahead and pay the bills real quick, guys. Ooh. And then we're going to get a couple of the comments here.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
Alrighty, guys. And of course, there we have the options of sending stars on Facebook there if you want to support the show that way. You can also go ahead and send a super chat over on YouTube there. And of course, the free way. You can hit the like, you hit the subscribe, and hit the share button there. Tell a friend about the show, because point blank, without y'all, nobody knows about us. We suck at marketing. Point blank.
Terrible.
So, all right. Now, there's a couple comments here about Ojulari. We're going to get to that in a little bit here. So we're going to skip some of that there. So Deb says, thoughts on getting Milton since New England is reportedly trading him. I'm good.
Yeah.
I feel like he's this guy that people like to look at and go, he had that one good game. Maybe he's good. He had a one good game and a meaningless game for basically everybody involved at that point there. I'm good. I still will stick to my guns of what I thought of him coming out in this draft. And I thought he was a guy with a really big arm who failed to make it big at two different schools that are known for having quarterbacks make it big. So that's I'm good.
Agreed.
John says Jameis, which means Jameis, not Jane. That's what who's Jane? Jameis, if we sign you and you throw blatant interceptions, you will have to eat 10 ghost peppers and run up and down the stadium seating area. I feel like he would do that even without the bet or anything. I feel like he would just do that for views in general.
Yeah, might be a TikTok, YouTube thing he does.
Exactly. Jay says Milton for a third, might as well at this point. No, I'm good.
Dan DeVito look good in a game too.
Are you going to tell me honestly? And this is where it depends on who you're going to get, obviously, in the third. But I'm going to give you the quick rundown, Rob, and you tell me if you would take this person over a third. You know, I'm sorry, take this person you can get in the third potentially over Joe Milton. Okay. Would you take Quinn Ewers or Milton?
Quinn Ewers.
Would you take Dylan Gabriel or Milton?
Probably Gabriel because I know that you have Milton.
Would you take Will Howard?
Howard, 100%.
Yeah,
Howard might go in the second round.
That's what I'm saying. Like these are guys you can get, and I feel like probably in the third round. Again, you're right on. Some of these guys may go in the second round. You never know. I mean, hell, look at last year with quarterbacks. You never know where people are going to go in the draft. But I feel like there's plenty of third round available quarterbacks that'll be better than Joe Milton was. That's for sure. Jason, are you joining Pig Pats Network? We are not. We have stuff coming down the pipeline soon as far as the network thing, but we'll announce that when the time is appropriate there. But like I said, nothing below all the Giants content creators, including Big Pats Network there. Jason's ghost peppers. How about crab legs and hot sauce? He would definitely do that.
100%. Dumped in ghost pepper hot sauce.
Matty Ice, waiting on Rodgers sucks. We need to sign a veteran and draft a QB. And that's what I like about the Winston coming in thing. Like I said, he doesn't preclude us from doing anything else. Yes, I use the Scrabble word, preclude. But
ooh,
I know. Ooh,
saucy.
I did.
Going with his peppers.
Saucy like a crab leg.
Yeah.
So Jay says, Rodgers is just using us. We're going to end up being scammed by the Browns for second pick. Yeah, I don't know if Rodgers is using us. I think Rodgers is just trying to keep his options open, and he thinks he's special enough that his options should stay open as long as he dictates that. And to him, I say, yeah,
Jersey bird.
Yeah, exactly, because that's just not there. You know, it's just I'm done. I'm done waiting. I was okay giving him a little time. I have no problem with giving him a little time. I'm done waiting.
I was okay even going into the weekend waiting. It's Monday. It's Monday at 9:38 for anyone that's listening on audio only. The next morning, it's 9:38 at night as we're filming live. Rodgers has not signed with Giants. We give you enough time, man.
We definitely did. We definitely did there. So, all righty, let's see here. Deb says, if you're sold on Sanders, do whatever it takes to move up to 2 to get him. If you're sold on him, sure.
Yes.
If you're, I'll always say with a grain of salt there to a certain degree, because everybody has a price they're willing to pay and a price that goes beyond what they're willing to pay. Like you say, whatever it takes. Like if the Browns called you up and said, we'll give you number 2. We want number
draft picks.
We want number 3. We want next year's 1. We want this year's 2nd. I'm not doing that. I'm not going crazy. But if you're telling me I can give you a 3rd round pick, like our comp pick, and move up 1 spot and get him guaranteed, then what the hell? Why not? If you like him, all depends on what the team thinks of him.
You have to be in the know that's your dude. Like you have to be confident. I mean, I'm not confident personally, but
Jay says, I was introduced to several Giants content creators to Big Pat. Sign the contract. We have other contracts we're examining.
Yeah, we're being Aaron Rodgers right now.
We are being beyond Aaron Rodgers, trust me. Jay says the Browns are going to start doing meetings with Sanders and making Shane nervous. That's fine. No need to be nervous. Like I said, I've said it again. I'll say it again. Who has Colorado beaten? And I don't say that like Sanders makes this schedule. I know that. I'm not stupid, obviously. Different Sanders helps with the schedule, but that's a whole separate thing. They're made for like 3 years in advance. But the whole thing is that I can't sit there and watch his tape and go, "Oh, look at this great teams he's beating left and right." Like, it's not like when you watch Jaden Daniels last year beating up, on SEC talent and all. Like, it's just not the same. John says, "I'm telling you, if they don't get Sanders or Cam, it'll be Dart." I hope not. I really do, personally. But unless they can get him in like the second round and you want to take the shot, then whatever. I'm not as going to be picky. But if they pick him at number 3, I'm going to throw a freaking fit. Like, I'm going to throw the TV across the room,
and you will probably see my camera flip.
Yeah, it's going to be bad. You need a backup camera.
Yeah.
Jay says, Drew is such a bear. You don't like anyone. I like plenty of people. Wow.
Asbury Park because he's a bear.
Oh, not that kind of bear, but wow. I do like Asbury Park, though. It's funny. I saw Dave Portnoy, or whatever his name is, the Barstool guy, doing Johnny Max. Yeah, he's doing Johnny Max pizza and all. I was like, hell's yeah. Johnny Max.
That's old. What do you give him, like a 6, 7?
I love I don't care. It's a free bar pie with the beer.
Oh, that's the best part.
Sign me up. Like it's brilliant on their part because it's bar pie. They're not like big pies. They're not expensive pies. Cost like $2 to make.
And it's fantastic because half the time you don't cash in on them because the line's so goddamn long.
Yep.
That you just go back and buy another beer before you have to go sit in line to get your free pizza.
Let me assure you, I never missed out on my free pizza. I would wait in the line the whole goddamn night if I had to. I don't care. It's my goddamn pizza to the point where by the time I got to the line, I may get 3 pizzas.
Yep. Well, they only allow 2, I think, at a time.
I don't know. I haven't been in a year.
But you do it right with your buddies. You go back and forth getting each other beers.
I'm not going back and forth with my buddies, so that's a whole separate thing. Anyway,
there, so whatever.
Anyway, let's talk about the rest of the news. It's not necessarily so good there. So first off, we got to go ahead and break the news here on Azeez Ojulari. A couple of you guys have already been asking about it here, but yeah. Azeez Ojulari is signing officially with the Eagles. Has signed with the Eagles, I should say, at this point. 1 year, $4 million deal. And I have 3 letters for y'all: W, T, and F. And that's not to say that Azeez Ojulari is some amazing player. I am not trying to say that. I'm going to say it this way: he wanted out, or the Giants wanted him out. I will say that as a potential, because we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But the guy literally has 22 sacks in 30 NFL starts, 46 games overall. The guy is a legitimate guy to go ahead and get the quarterback. And let's be honest, they've got a couple, they've got a couple of issues in Philadelphia. They lost Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham is rumored to be potentially retiring. Along with other moves they've made because of retirements and all. To me, I just look at what happened here, and I say again, either he didn't want to be here, or the Giants didn't want him here,
or
both.
It could have been a little bit of both, but also
it's definitely not either. It's definitely not either. If they wanted to be together still, they'd find a way to find $4 million to pay Azeez Ojulari.
Yeah, or probably like 7 or 8, where he probably should have got paid.
You know what? I don't disagree with the number. I really don't. This is one of the rare free agent contracts where I'm like, yeah, that sounds what he should have gotten. Yeah. Because he can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy. Don't forget, guys, he dropped to the bottom of the second round because he couldn't be healthy when people originally had him pegged to be a potential top 10 pick.
So the only thing I think it was like Giants weren't that high paying him that much money. Granted,
not that much money.
Granted, $4 million is like where it should be. Like, and Giants probably would have offered him $5 million. I would have to assume if he would have came back to him. But you also have to think about you're going to a team that just won a Super Bowl. There's going to be a lot of press on you. There's going to be a lot of coverage on you. So if you want to try to rebuild your career, take that $4 million and you hope you get a $7-8 million contract next year.
Yeah.
Or you also make a buttload of money and advertisements, endorsements.
I don't know about that. I think Ezekiel Ojulari is going to be that guy to go ahead and get that. But
team press stuff.
Well, team press stuff, sure. But I mean, he's played 29 out of the 51 games in the last 3 years that he could have. That's how bad the injuries have been, guys.
Yep.
And I'll tell you this, like, guys, you want to get back to the Eagles? Run the ball down Azeez Ojulari's throat when we play him. Every time he's out, the running back goes right to Azeez Ojulari. We all saw it for how many years as a Giants fan. Azeez Ojulari cannot stop the run. Azeez Ojulari cannot set the edge. Can't do it. It's just not in his wheelhouse. What he can do and what he is he is the wish version of a pure pass rusher. What I mean by that is because of the injuries, I'm going to say that. But he is a guy that if you can go ahead and just limit him to third downs, long passing yards, 2-minute drills, stuff of that nature, he's going to be a good player for you. As Jay was kind of saying what I was kind of about to say a minute ago, like, I don't know if I want to go there, but Yannick Ngakoue, kind of very much like him. You know, he can get to the quarterback, but he cannot stop the run. He's not a complete player, but he still has a role. And if we could have got him hypothetically, and again, we got conjecture at this point, or none of us know exactly what's going on here. But if we could have gotten him back for $4 million and put him in that kind of role, I'd been very much happy with it, very much okay with it.
Yep.
Because we weren't counting on him for anything major. He's good depth for us. But, you know, that's just what he is at this point there. We know what he is now. He's been 4 years in the league. We've seen it. He's only ever been healthy his rookie year. That's it. And, you know, eventually you're going to realize that's what he can do. If you think he's more, you're going to realize it because he cannot set the edge. Look how much that running game went crazy against us when, you know, Kayvon Thibodeau went out. It was a huge difference. It was a huge difference there. So, like I said, I don't wish him anything but best of luck with his career overall. Obviously, I wish him success, but not the Eagles. Same as we did with Adoree. Which, by the way, Adoree Jackson goes there. You know, Azeez Ojulari goes there. Nick Gates went there last year. You know, Paris Campbell. You know, you're looking at Saquon Barkley, obviously. You realize like 10% of the Eagles roster is ex-Giants at this point?
Right? Sad.
Right?
Like,
at what point do you go, wait a minute, the team that just won the Super Bowl keeps taking our players? Things that make you go, like, maybe there's a problem. Maybe things are not as good as you think they are. And we think they're bad to begin with. like that's, I think, like, if anybody else, okay, I'm going to use a word analogy, but I'm going to go with it, okay? Let's say you are running the Burger King company, okay? And all of a sudden, a bunch of your people leave and go be extremely successful at McDonald's, let's just say. Let's just say McDowell's so we don't get sued.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully Eddie Murphy's listening.
Wouldn't you go, wait a minute, what the hell what am I doing? Something's wrong here. And I just don't feel like the Giants have that knowledge or ability to sit there and go, wait a minute here. Something's wrong with this picture. And that's sad and that's scary.
Yeah.
Really is. So, but like I said, hope the best for him. I will always root for everybody who was a Giant at some point, except for Eli Apple and a couple others. But Kadarius Toney, those kind of people. But I got no beef with him. But I will post the same question I said with Adoree Jackson. Where's all the people pissed off? Is it just Saquon we get mad about?
Pretty much.
That's what I feel like. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Let's see here. We can go back to the comments now on that. Now we've talked about it. John says, "Bye, Ojulari. What's with them taking our former players?" Shake my head. I didn't say smack my head this time. I didn't say it. I still want to say it. I still want to say it each time. John says, "How about losing Ojulari to a rival, Barkley, Adoree, Ojulari? They pick guys that rhyme." I guess they kind of rhyme.
A little bit.
Okay, I didn't think about that. There we go.
Barkley, Adoree, Ojulari.
Yeah. Let's see here. Going back here. We're going back. We're trying to go back to all the ones here.
We're gonna go back in comments.
Back in time.
Yeah.
All righty here. Let's see. Here we go. Jay says $4 million. I thought he would have got $10 million, to be honest. He didn't want to be here. Jay says Bryce Huff, they're trying to dump his gluteus maximus, to put it nicely. Jay says his brother can't stay healthy either. Deb says agree, Jay. And Mac, the Giants fan, says, why didn't they trade Aziz at the deadline? They reported interest. Why keep letting these guys leave and get nothing for them? Well, let's be honest here. We had let him leave. Imagine how bad the defense would have been then. We're putting Boogie Basham, Timon Fox as their starting edge rusher those days that Kayvon was out. I'm granted that didn't get us anything but a little bit of pride, but I don't know. I don't know what we would have gotten for him, really. We were going to get a 6th round pick for him.
You got your head coach and GM fired, maybe.
That's like I said. I don't know. And Jay says he'll go crazy on the Eagles. Watch it happen. Watch him be healthy. He says because the 6th round is a throwaway. I'm thinking that's to the Mac, the Giants fan there. So Jay's actually agreeing with us. Look at this. Matty Ice, we're better. We're going to be better without him. I can't say better without him, but I'm not going to say it's a massive loss. We're like, oh my God, what do we do now without Aziz Ojulari?
Yeah. I mean, we're very close to the draft.
Yeah.
Who knows what you get? You might get someone that plays just as good as he does over the course of the year.
Oh, yeah. And we got Chauncey. Chauncey's a better player. So, as Jason's again, Yannick Ngakoue-esque, because everybody wants him for sacks, that gets rid of him for run defense. Exactly. Mac the Giants said LMAO at the Wish version. He is. Pale Rider says they most definitely are not a QB away, which is why. Let's see. We'll talk about that in part a little bit there. Jay says it's crazy. He's still only 24. He says we're QB away from playing Washington football. Chris, if I could, I'd fire Shane and rehire him just so I could fire him again. I think there might be labor laws against these things. Jay says lots of ego from Joe Shame. He wants the team to be all of his guys. I don't think he wants to be all his guys. I really don't think he cares about that. If I'm being honest, not to stick up for Joe Shane here, but look at the guys he signed to big contracts. Besides, obviously, Burns, Dexter Lawrence, Gettleman guy, Daniel Jones, Gettleman guy, Andrew Thomas, Gettleman guy. Like, he has kept a decent amount of Gettleman guys. He's also let a lot of big names go in the process too. But the people he's kept have been Gettleman guys. So, all righty. Let's go to the next topic here, guys. We got a couple more things to go over here for you. First off, Jordan Rana says the plans to move up to number 1 are dead. Dead.
D-E dead.
D-E-E dead. As John Leguizamo said in the great movie Spawn. Oh, yes, Spawn. Who thought we'd make a Spawn reference tonight? Not me. No one. Exactly. You never know. Jordan Rana on his ESPN's Breaking Big Blue podcast said all indications seem to be based off free agency. That pick will not be available to the New York Giants. Plan A was to get Matthew Stafford this offseason. Plan B appears to try to get the number 1 overall pick, and that appears dead too. Yeah. I agree with us. We've said that multiple episodes at this point that the Titans have not picked up anybody at quarterback. In fact, they let Mason Rudolph go. That just tells me
much.
Yeah, but I'm saying you've still weakened the room. And you haven't signed anybody, which tells me that they're probably, because they haven't even brought people in for visits. Like, at least the Giants have brought now a third quarterback in for a visit. The Titans are just sitting on their hands, scratching themselves. And that tells me they're getting Cam Ward. That they have no doubt in their mind that Cam Ward is their guy and they're going to go get him. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Shedeur Sanders, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
My personal opinion. Listen, I'd be very happy that happens. Take Sanders, number 1 overall. Then we can go ahead and maybe get Ward number 3. I don't think there's a shot in hell he makes it to us.
No.
Thanks, Drew Lock. Way to beat the Colts. All righty. One last segment here for you guys. And we got to talk about Peter Schrager. Jersey boy himself, by the way, said Giants just a QB away. We've said this, you and Rob, how many times, Rob? But I'm glad to see other people are saying it as well. He said on Fox Sports, he said they're a quarterback away. They don't have a quarterback. It's hard to win football games without a quarterback, but there are pieces there. Call me an optimist. Or maybe it's just because I grew up in New Jersey, but the Giants aren't that far off. Throw in Aaron Rodgers, throw in Russell Wilson, draft a quarterback. I think the Giants are on the way and could be competitive this year. Call me crazy. And the crazy thing is, I really, really do think that he's right. As negative as we are on the show, because quite frankly, we're just tired of losing all the time. How many games are so close with the Giants with having Tommy DeVito and Daniel Jones as a quarterback? How many are them with less than a touchdown difference?
Quite a few in the past few years.
Yes. Like, yeah. I just feel like this is one of those type of situations where I know it's probably a little clickbaity for him to say that, but he's not wrong.
No,
he's not wrong. Let's say we got a guy in here that did 25 passing touchdowns. Okay. What did I just say? We had 15 last year.
15.
That's 10 additional touchdowns, guys. That's a big goddamn difference. That is a huge difference. Let's see here. Least points NFL 2024. I'm going to look this up. So, least points. Nope, not allowed. They're doing allowed. Stat views is good, but every so often you Google things and it comes up. Let's see here. Okay, we might not have that stat here. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So the Giants were second least in points at 273. Let's throw another 70 on there. Let's say we got 25 passing touchdowns instead of the 15. Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. But wouldn't that get us at 343 based on that math? 273 plus 70?
Yeah.
Okay. That would put us at number 11. So just below average. That's what I'm saying. I don't think we're that far. Now, you throw in the fact that if we can stay healthy and the defense can do in the full season what it did the first half of last year, and then on top of that, throw in the fact that we just added to the secondary, added a legit number 1 corner potentially, and a legit safety. Guys, I still think this team is not that far away. And I hate to say it because I feel like I'm just being a homer saying it to a certain degree, but it's not. Get a quarterback in here, a legit quarterback. And I'm telling you, you start seeing all kinds of things change. Yeah. All kinds of things. And then you know what happens from there? People want to play here because they want to play with this quarterback. People want to play here because they want to play in an up-and-coming team. You don't believe me? Look at the Commanders. You know, that's what happens. So, you know, I'm glad to see somebody else saying it besides just you and I, Rob. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do you know Pete was from Freehold?
Who, Pete?
Yeah. Sorry, I had to look it up on the site.
Was he from Freehold? I knew he was from Jersey.
Freehold. Graduated from Freehold High School.
Did you look it up?
I did.
Did you look it up? What year did he graduate? Oh my God, he's my age. He's my age. He's the class of 2000 as well. That means that he and I actually, if we played Freehold, I could have played football against him. But no, we did not play Freehold. But he probably knows some people I know. Probably does. So, anyway,
small world.
It is a small world. Yeah, you're right. Freehold, New Jersey. Good old Freehold. Freehold Township High School. Ooh, I didn't even know that. See, you learn something every day.
The power of Google.
Which is actually the same neck of the woods that Jordan Rodon lives in, too, by the way.
Yeah.
I want to say he lives in that Freehold Manalapan area. I don't want to give his address away or anything crazy, but he lives in that same area. So, here we go. As Jason, Drew going to start dropping his name connections again. I'm not dropping names again. Wow. Jace says that. When we start calling people into the show randomly, how funny would that be? Could you imagine if a podcaster had people's names and phone numbers like that and started calling random football players and like other media members and just start calling them in randomly onto their show? Hi, you're live on Two Giant Goofballs.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'd be so pissed if I was them.
I'm in my underwear, about to hop in the shower. What do you want?
Oh, let's FaceTime. What? Whoa.
Yeah.
Anyway. Alrighty, guys. That's gonna call it a night for us here. Appreciate you guys watching as always. We'll be back again Wednesday. Now soon, I've said it before last time, so I'm gonna say it again though. Soon we're gonna be starting our draft coverage there. So keep an eye out for that. When exactly? Whenever the free agency stuff stops. When that is, I don't know. I would say probably once we go ahead and get a quarterback. That's the biggest thing right now. Until we get a quarterback, that's probably going to be the topic. But I want to start getting you guys all the draft coverage that we're going to be doing. Already done some work up on the quarterback. So if you haven't already seen that stuff, go ahead and go on to YouTube, which there's a whole draft playlist there, and all that stuff is in there. But like I said, we're going to call it a night here. We're going to be back again for you guys Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Unless something happens, we sign a quarterback tomorrow. Maybe we pop in tomorrow if that happens. I don't know. Hopefully not. Give us a damn day off. All right, guys. We'll see you guys Wednesday. As always, we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X/Twitter, and of course, Rob's favorite, my LinkedIn profile. And of course, as always, we're available on the next day on all the major audio podcast platforms: Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon. Like I said, guys, if you haven't already, do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that share. Whoa, what is that?
Don't worry, you're a bear.
Wow, my God, you're gonna get us canceled. Anyway. Anyway, we will see you guys again Wednesday. Appreciate you guys for watching, listening as always. And as always, Giants fans, go G-Man! Go G-Man!
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.